Ever felt like you're surrounded by actors? I know I have. People wear masks every day, pretending to be something they're not. But here's the wild part. Once you learn to read between the lines, you'll see right through the act. I remember sitting in a meeting where everyone was nodding and smiling, but I knew that beneath those smiles were hidden agendas. It was all in the feet, the silence, the little pauses. Trust me, once you pick up on these signs, you'll never see people the same way again, ready to uncover what they're really hiding. Let's dive in. 1. The tell me more technique. This technique is like having a superpower without the flashy costume or cape. And the best part, no one even realizes you're using it. It's so simple yet incredibly effective. All you do is sit back, stay calm, and when someone is passionately telling you their side of the story, instead of jumping in with your opinion or debating them, you simply say, "Tell me more." I discovered this years ago during an argument with a friend about whether pineapple belongs on pizza. I was ready to counter every point they made, but something clicked. Instead of debating, I just smiled and said, "Tell me more." What happened next was wild. They started off talking about pizza, but soon they were sharing childhood memories, favorite foods, and even a weird story about why they hated pineapple as a kid. It wasn't just about pizza anymore. It was a deep dive into their inner world, all from 3 little words. When people feel heard, they lower their guard. Without the need to defend themselves, they end up sharing way more than they planned. You create a safe space where they feel comfortable enough to drop their usual defenses. 2. Understanding the past behind behavior. We often see people's behavior in the present and judge them based on that. But to truly understand them, you need to consider their past. Stoicism teaches us to see things as they are, without judgment. Understanding someone's past can provide insight into their behavior. For example, you might notice that someone seems overly jealous or struggles with commitment. Digging into their past relationships might reveal unresolved wounds that drive their current behavior. This doesn't mean you have to tolerate toxic behavior, but it helps you understand the reasons behind it. People often live their lives stuck in cycles, repeating patterns learned from past experiences. For instance, a co-worker who constantly seeks validation might be replaying a childhood where they never felt good enough. Recognizing these patterns can help you navigate relationships with more empathy and also guide others towards self-awareness and improvement. 3. Sudden changes in tone signal lies or hesitation. One of the biggest giveaways that someone is lying or hiding something is a sudden change in their tone of voice. When people lie or feel uncomfortable, their voice often reflects their internal conflict. You might notice a higher pitch, a crack in their voice, or an awkward pause. I once had a co-worker who was always smooth-talking and charming, but during a discussion about a project deadline, his voice dropped and he started stuttering. It turned out he hadn't made any progress and was trying to cover it up. That shift in tone was key. When someone's tone changes, it's often a subconscious signal of discomfort. Whether they're lying, hiding something, or just unsure of themselves, their voice can reveal it. Pay attention to these subtle shifts. Whether it's a sudden drop in energy, a pitch change, or an awkward pause. It might not always indicate a full-on lie, but could be a sign they're not telling the whole truth. For the most honest moments are when they think no one's watching. If you really want to know who someone is at their core, observe them when they think no one's paying attention. These are the moments when people drop their social masks and reveal their true nature. For instance, I once worked with a manager who was always professional when the boss was around. But when our higher-ups left, she transformed, snapping at the team and treating people with disrespect. It taught me that someone's true self often comes out when they think they're off stage. You'll see their real character in small moments. How they react when they think no one will notice, how they treat people who can't offer them anything, or how they behave when there's no accountability. This applies to every aspect of life, from relationships to business. Pay attention to how people act when they're not trying to impress or gain approval. 5. Emotional reactions reveal priorities. To understand what truly matters to someone, observe their emotional reactions. Emotions are like an unfiltered window into their soul, exposing their priorities and values. For example, I once worked with a colleague who was generally calm, but when someone suggested a minor change to one of his projects, he blew up. His reaction revealed how much that project mattered to him. It was personal, not just work. Strong emotional reactions, whether positive or negative, are tied to what people care about deeply. Someone who gets defensive over a minor issue is revealing something significant about their self-image or values. By paying attention to these emotional cues, you can better understand what they prioritize. 6. Your emotions reveal your own priorities. Your own emotional reactions also reveal your priorities. When you find yourself reacting strongly to something, reflect on why. Is it because it genuinely matters to you, or is your ego getting in the way? Stoicism teaches us to understand our emotional responses to gain control over them. Recognize when your emotions are tied to values that matter versus those driven by pride or insecurities. By observing others and yourself, you gain valuable insights into human behavior. This skill isn't just about gaining an advantage. It's about understanding and personal growth. Use this knowledge wisely to navigate social interactions and develop a deeper understanding of yourself.